Before we get to that fuel inlet pipe, let's put our flywheel back on there and check the fuel pump to make sure that we got it right. Okay, now we can turn the slowly at first to make a couple of it does have some compression. Yeah, we got fuel pump action. Alright, now let's get on to that fuel inlet pipe. I got the thread sealer on the threads there, inside yonder and up yonder. We'll put this one on there later, and I'd already fitted this fitting into that pipe, and I did take a light and a long instrument and put some pipe sealer inside the gas tank. So it's time to assemble this. And the objective is to get the gas filler cap to come out right through here and have like a 1/2 inch or so clearance on this push rod. Now the igniter model, most of the time the gas filler came out on this side over here because of the trip on for the igniter. I believe we can get another turn. Oh, that's going to be tight. Okay. That's a little bit tighter. Let's see how much more we need to go, if any. I believe a little bit more. Okay. Okay, we're going to have to have a little more. Okay. You don't want to put too much pressure onto the fuel tank inlet pipe, but you do want it to be tight. You don't want to be flopping around. But I do think that that's going to be tight enough right there. Maybe a little bit more. Okay, now I'm going to have to come this way ever such a little bit. I didn't want to do that. We got about a 1/4 inch of clearance right there. That's good. It'll never make contact, and it's tucked up there really close. Now, what I'm going to do is take a file, and I'm going to go in there and take those pipe rings teeth marks away, and I'm going to take a cloth and remove all of that pipe sealer, and we'll be done with that. We can we'll have to run our lines here, and I may bring it to your attention up to, let's just get up to this point right here. I did go ahead and install this exhaust pipe manifold, and it's a street L, a 90-degree L, and a short length of pipe right there to get it out here to where it would clear this this part right here, and then I am going to put this type muffler on it. We'll talk about them mufflers a little bit later. Next project is fuel line. I got to go from the gas tank down and go in the bottom of the fuel pump. So what I got there, that's a piece of that wire, you know, it's Romex or something they call it. It's up there, and it's your electric wire in your house, and I done skint rubber coating off of it. It's easy to bend. And when what I done is I went on ahead and I shaped, I made me a pattern as to what size, from here to here, somewhere kind of like what came from the factory is what I want to replicate. And I know this is about 2 inches too long, but that's the shape that I want. So what I done is I got me some of that old copper tubing. I had a long piece there, about 10 foot of that right there, and so I cut off a little short piece of it, and then I bent it up, and this is what I ended up with right here. And I took some of that there Scotch-Brite stuff, and I kind of give it a, it'll tarnish really quick because I don't want anything shiny on this engine. But I'm going to put it right there. So let's put that on there. It gets one of them nuts like that and a ferrule on the bottom, and then on the top up there it gets one of them nuts right there and a ferrule on the top. Okay, let's get that right up in there and start that one on there kind of lightly. All at the meantime, get that and then down there and start them both before we tighten up anything, because we may have to. This is first attempt. May have to make a slight adjustment. Sometimes you do. There's nothing wrong with a slight adjustment. That one started, and I believe that one on the bottom did down there. I like to have a little pressure coming downward on that one. And you don't want to get no pressure on the bottom of that fuel pump. You just do not want to do that. So I'm going to leave that topping where I can get a little slack in it. And what I'm going to do to protect that immediately is I'm going to put that, and I know that I've got that, I know that I got enough copper in yonder to where that when the ferrule tightens up, it won't be off the end of it. So I'm holding the fitting so I don't put any pressure on that fuel pump. Stress that more than enough, and tighten up there just the 2 inches to squeeze your ferrule up. Okay, that's good on that one right there. Now let's tighten up this top one up here. And I had ample enough copper. I had a pretty good amount of copper sticking up in there, a little bit more than what was needed. But let's. I'm going to hold that down there and set this in tight. Okay, snug it up there. Pay attention to what you're doing. Don't just. Okay, that's good. Okay, now we've got our suction line installed, and that, like I say, that'll tarnish quite soon and take on a pretty nice patina. Okay, these engines come from the factory with brass lines on them, but we've got that installed, and now the next line is from the fuel pump to the mixer. Okay, if we come up here to the mixer right here, I'm going to go ahead and put some thread sealer. I'm going to put some thread sealer right up in there just a little bit, and some right up in here a little bit. And then I'm going to put this fitting in there, and this one in the bottom. And I'll show you something. These mixers right here, well, let's get around there where we can see. These mixers right here that's got this outlet hole right here in the bottom, that's for your inlet. That's the pipe that goes in right here. Okay, most of them you will find that will be in the bottom, but you will find quite a few that hole is halfway up on the side of the mixer right there. Now, why some of them's in the bottom and why some of them's up here, you know, that information would be beyond to me. But one of them is not any more rare than the other one. You'll find dozens of this and then a dozen of that one. So, you know, it's just one of them unique things. It may be a year model. Other than this hole being in two different places, they're pretty much the same. Now, you know, if you know the reason why, leave a comment. Now I'm going to bend that other. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a longer piece of wire. I'm just going to tell it to you. Take a longer piece of wire and put down in yonder. This one comes up down through here like that right there. That's almost long enough. It'll be bent right up in here like this. It'll have a bend down here like that and a bend like that. And then this part down here will be bent down like that. Okay, let's get us a piece of 3/8 tubing and get that bent.